Good morning. Merritt here with Apteros Trading, looking at the S&P futures, and let's start. Before we talk about today, let's recap yesterday, what happened versus what we pointed out and what we were looking at the hard right edge. All right, so early on, huge sell-off is the context, right? So huge sell-off overnight, and we're coming into this bull zone here. We wanted to see a reaction from buyers, which we absolutely got into the open, and the sellers were actually quite weak. So I loved buying here. I loved buying here. I thought those were two fantastic A-plus spots to get long. Now, we got rotations away from those areas, but then ultimately, as we know, that was a stop out. And here's where I put out a tweet in real time saying, okay, seller's not really that strong. Let's see if we're just wicking this overnight low and we perhaps pop back up and the trade sets back up. It did not. In fact, what happened is we got underneath the bull zone, stalled a little bit, went again, and then there's a pullback back to it here, which was the next A-plus entry. Where does the momentum shift? Right there. Boom. And then that brings us to low of day, and then the big rally into the close. So those were the best trade opportunities yesterday relative to our prep. And, they were all very, very standard NADRO entries, both contextually as well as intraday framework to take the setups. This, if we want to talk about, just overall what's going on, which leads us into today, this could be, something of a game changer, right? This is a massive rally off massive order flow. And that sets you up for, if you're in Asia, if you're in Europe, that sets you up for the trade again. And what's the trade? Well, guess what? It's this trade that I tried here. Same trade. A little stabilization over the bull zone. Boom. What did we talk about were targets yesterday for upsides? Well, it was two of them. This one and this one. And, that's simply what happens in the overnight session. I believe that's our overnight high. Yes. So here we are at the hard right edge now with 35 minutes till the open. Let me pause the video, adjust some levels, and see where we're at, and talk about game plan for today. All right, here we are. Not a whole lot of changes. The first thing I would say is I wouldn't place too much emphasis in terms of priorities of all these levels we have here. I wouldn't place too much emphasis on a lot of these dashed blue lines. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them on here. Those are very much secondary, tertiary levels to just offer secondary entries that line up with with more important key recent rejections and things like that as we talk about. So keep that in mind first and foremost. So once you kind of minimize those in your mind here, what's most important? Well, the most important narrative piece that's going on is, we just scrunch this up, is this massive, what did I say about this bull level, which is now a dual bull level down here? I said that it was very long term. It was our longest of longest term yesterday. So for us to see an overshoot, right, on our day trading time frame, it just, more times than not, that's what it's going to look like. More times than not, you don't have a 3-minute chart go to the tick to a level off of, a daily bar chart, right? That's not how it works. No, it's going to overshoot it. It's going to wick it, or it's going to get front run, things like that. So yesterday we had an overshoot of this level to really clear it out and whatnot. So this, in terms of utmost big picture narrative for this market, we're bullish from here. As long as this dual bull zone here is holding, it's all-time highs, right, from there. Now, medium term, this level is still bearish. So that brings us into, we're short-term traders. We could maintain, near-term bearishness as long as this holds, understanding that the closer and closer we get back down to this bull zone, if we do, you're running out of risk reward there and you're competing with a bigger picture time frame. Another thing I would say would be that this zone is important. I considered making this a bull zone. If you made it a bull zone, that's fine. It is potentially going to interact bullishly with this market. I'm keeping it neutral because I just think that it's such a lesser priority of a level than this bear zone and this bull zone. But it's the third most important level. Let's put it that way. So, if you want to use this to get involved on the long side, going with this biggest picture, swing long type idea, and use this to get involved, that's great. If you want to wait for the hold above here, that's great as well. Those are two trade ideas for you there. If you want to go with the more medium-term narrative, I still suggest being weary of this bull zone, but if you want to go with this bearishness here, I get it. I think it's still beautiful, at least on one time frame, and structurally with value migration and whatnot. Obviously, we're bearish in bearish mode here. I think that this level is more important personally, but if you want to play the bear zone here, you could either hope for some type of retest again up here, get lucky and get it again. I think it's already been had. So the next time we revisit this, I think this level weakens personally. But anyways, if you're bearish, you either get it from here or you wait for it to get below this third most important neutral zone here and you take it short there, perhaps down into the bull zone. Okay, so those are two different ways to approach it. And that pretty much encompasses all the ideas. Obviously, if we do get back down here again, I'll most likely be stalking longs again. Other than that, I'm looking at this as a place to buy, or this, if we get above it, as a place to buy. That's kind of my priority is from the long side here. But hey, look, if the tape looks really bad, if buyers can't maintain any type of control here, which they currently have leading into the open, I might scalp a short below here, sure. But mostly I'm going to be looking to get back on the long idea. Cheers.